Investigator Davis, during a vehicle inspection, talk about what they've done to the vehicle. Now, I remind you, this is a sealed body cam. Commonwealth Amy Ashworth sealed this body cam from you. I happened to steal it. I happened to release it. Now we can get to the bottom of what is going on in the Mustafa AlJazairi case. Now we get to ask questions. Is the government lying to us about Mustafa? We have body cams that they crushed and staged the vehicle. Let's watch this body cam.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me...
Prosecutor Sami lied to the presiding judge, Judge Carol Weimer. She told him, I have no idea of any communication. Well, I have a body cam. We're going to watch a body cam. It's Exhibit 47 and Exhibit 48. We'll watch those two body cams. That as soon as Investigator Davis, who's not with the forensic unit, is talking on the phone, he has a 16-year-old on speed dial. He gets off the phone. He calls the prosecutor. Prosecutor Sami. So wait a minute. We have a prosecutor that's flat out lying to the presiding judge. Now, I have other body cams, and that's what we're also going to watch, is when Mustafa's vehicle was inspected. When Mustafa's vehicle was inspected, they found, Investigator Davis found brake failure. Immediately notified the prosecutor. I have him on body cam notifying the prosecutor. Now, what communication took place between Investigator Davis and Prosecutor Sami? He's talking about notifying her. He's confirming that he notified her. So what conversation took place? Because Prosecutor Sami, in a bond motion, told the judge that there was nothing wrong with Mustafa's car. Interesting. Well, I have a body cam that shows brake failure. I have a computer inside the vehicle that shows Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. I have evidence that shows Mustafa cleared every vehicle, made it to the fourth lane, and the SUV turned into Mustafa. Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. So what are the communication that you had with Investigator Davis? And why is the Faro scan today is missing? So we're going to watch the body cam when Prosecutor Sami is being notified at the vehicle inspection. Okay, we're going to watch Prosecutor Sami get notified after Investigator Davis notifies her after they talk to the children. Okay. And then we're going to watch another body cam where when we finally hired an independent expert to reconstruct the vehicle accident, Investigator Robert Drum is telling the independent expert that he can't touch the vehicle. That Prosecutor Sami instructed that the independent expert cannot touch the vehicle. And the question here is, how could you reconstruct a vehicle accident if you're not allowed to touch the vehicle? Now, that's defying a judge order. There is a judge order in place to reconstruct the vehicle. Mustafa's vehicle, the SUV, and the Faro scan is missing. That's interesting. So you want the independent expert to rescan a crushed vehicle? Your computer is going to not, the scan is not going to read the impact. It's not going to be able to reconstruct. You need the original scan. Now, I have Investigator Davis As soon as he found brake failure, he's talking about, I have an idea to employ into this case, but it's going to require spending money. At the time, we hired a lawyer that we found out later that he has a relationship with the investigator, Robert Drum, that's working for Robert Drum on body cam. They're working against Mustafa. And I remember at the time, that defense attorney, Casey Stevens, was telling us it was his idea. He wanted us to hire an independent expert to reconstruct the accident. Now, I have a body cam. When he showed up, they're making a deal with the investigator, and Davis is right there, the one that's talking about, the one that says, I have an idea to employ into this case, but it's going to require spending money. They don't let the independent experts reconstruct the accident, touch the vehicle. They said, no, you can't touch the vehicle. And they're having him rescan the vehicle. So wait a minute. You delete the original. It's not deleted. It's there. It's in a separate file, and we're going to get that file. But you're having the independent expert rescan the vehicle? Now, the reason that's disturbing is because the police department crushed the vehicle specifically where Dorothy is at. They crushed Dorothy's portion of the vehicle. Now, investigator Chad Mason, during a bond motion, took the stand and said, I'm an expert witness. And he testified that Mustafa, and this is their narrative. This is what they want to say. That Mustafa didn't clear every vehicle. That Mustafa maneuvered the vehicle to get his girlfriend side hit and 5-year-old Empress side hit. Now, wait a minute. When I'm watching these body cams, I'm watching one, Mustafa cleared all the vehicle and he made it to the 4th lane. And the part that's impacted by the SUV turns into Mustafa, into the 4th lane, is the back quarter panel of the vehicle, not Dorothy's side. The SUV turned into the back of the vehicle. There's an indentation that you clearly see where the SUV turned into. But what they've done is they crushed Dorothy's side. And by the way, you don't have to take my word for it. I'm going to show you a body cam where Investigator Davis on body cam say that this is where we crushed the vehicle. It's problematic when you have that body cam because Chad Mason got on the stand and told Judge Carol Weimer that Mustafa's vehicle was crushed on Dorothy. The impact happened on Dorothy's side. That's not true. The police department crushed Dorothy's side. Let's watch a specific body cam where Investigator Davis, during a vehicle inspection, talk about what they've done to the vehicle. Now, I remind you, this is a sealed body cam. Commonwealth Amy Ashworth sealed this body cam from you. I happened to steal it. I happened to release it. Now we can get to the bottom of what is going on in the Mustafa AlJazairi case. Now we get to ask questions. Is the government lying to us about Mustafa? We have body cams that they crushed and staged the vehicle. Let's watch this body cam.
We also,
this is Investigator Davis, and what you see here is Investigator Cruz, and they're talking to the police mechanic during a vehicle inspection.
The other thing, too, that I forgot to tell you, we put this could have taken this into account. The fire department cut the top off for us. They also rolled.
The fire department cut the vehicle for us, the police.
The steering wheel forward so we can get the box out. So they had.
The box that they're talking about is the ACM. Now, this is a problem because I have pictures, and we're going to go over these pictures, that you clearly had access to the box, to the ACM. So why would you cut the roof, chop up the vehicle, crush Dorothy's side? We're going to get to the bottom of it.
Their big hydraulic, they had their big hydraulic thing set up right, like where the B pillar would be. pushing the front forward.
The hydraulic, the police had the fire department put their hydraulic at the B pillar specifically, and he's going to point to where the B pillar is, Dorothy's side, and completely crush Dorothy's side. Only for them to get on the stand later, Chad Mason to get on the stand later, and he says, this impact is because Mustafa didn't clear the SUV. He maneuvered the vehicle. And look, Your Honor, he crushed his girlfriend. You crushed that side. Only for you to seal off this video and testify to a lie.
So I guess that could that have caused the lengthening of the car per se?
Absolutely.
Okay. I actually didn't even think about that until just now. When they rolled out that forward, that would have pushed.
Sense.
Yeah, because they.
And what they also want to do is muddy up the water. Now, when Mustafa woke up out of a coma inside the hospital, Mustafa tells Chad Mason, I don't know what happened. There was something wrong with my car. Immediately, they go and crush the vehicle. And they crush it specifically where his girlfriend sits. So that they can say Mustafa didn't clear the vehicles. And so that anything that comes out of that vehicle, mechanical failure, as they can say, oh, we crushed it. What do you mean? How does that make any sense? Your job is to preserve the evidence. The most crucial piece of evidence in this whole entire case is the vehicle. And you crushed it? Only to muddy up the water? I mean, here they find major brake failure. Mustafa's vehicle would not stop. He's hitting the brake. The computer shows that he's hitting the brake and the vehicle doesn't stop.
Yeah, because I'll show you what they did. They cut here on both of them and then put their machine here.
Did you see that? You see where he's pointing? You see where he's pointing? That's Davis pointing to Dorothy's door. Dorothy's side, Mustafa's girlfriend's side. He said, we put the hydraulic, we had the fire department, put the hydraulic right here. That's Dorothy's side. You crushed Dorothy's side, only to come out and say that Mustafa never cleared the SUV.
Here and then pushed the whole front forward to get this out of the way so that we could get the box out.
Okay, yeah, that could have made the length longer.
Yeah. What was that?
That's because of that.
Yeah, but that could have pushed all that. That could have made the length of the car longer, made that drivetrain fall out too. And it caused that to push forward also.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to watch that portion one more time where he's pointing at Dorothy's door. And then I'm going to show you pictures of the vehicle after the accident and pictures of the vehicle inside the police department. And we're going to ask the question, is Investigator Davis lying about crushing the vehicle to get to the ACM? Because I'm looking at pictures that they had access to the ACM. The vehicle was not crushed in. You had access to the ACM. But why did you crush it? You crushed it to stage the vehicle.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you that. Longer made that drive. Yeah, because I'll show you what they did. They cut here on both of them and then put their machine here and then pushed the whole front forward to get this out of the way so that we could get the box out.
Okay, yeah, that could have made the length longer.
Yeah. What was that?
That's because of that.
Yeah, but that could have pushed all that. That could have made the length of the car longer, made that drivetrain fall out too. Box out.
Okay, yeah, that could have
on both of them, and then put their machine here.
You see where he's pointing? I'm gonna circle that part. You see where he's pointing? He's pointing right here. He's pointing on Dorothy's door, Dorothy's portion of the vehicle, the front passenger. They had the fire department put in a hydraulic to crush that apart. Now, the impact happened right here. This is the impact. You see that groove here? There's a groove. That's the SUV. Well, Mustafa cleared. You see? So Davis is talking about here, that they put the hydraulic there. The impact is here. That's the impact. That's the SUV. Mustafa clear all the vehicle, makes it to the fourth lane. The SUV turns into Mustafa. There's a clear groove in the back portion of the vehicle. But the police department crushed his girlfriend's side only to say the vehicle Mustafa never cleared. Now, Mustafa is being charged with murder. Evidence showed that he did everything he can to avoid the vehicles. That he avoided the vehicles. What they're doing here is they're destroying and manipulating the evidence to show that he never cleared the vehicle. Now, let's look at the picture of the vehicle. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. But like, there's no way the police department would lie about not having access to the ACM. I mean, Investigator Davis is saying that the reason we did this and that to the vehicle is because we wanted access to the vehicle. Well, explain to me, how does this make sense when this is the vehicle after the accident? The ACM, this is the vehicle. Okay? The ACM sits right here. Right there. Under the shifter. The ACM, the computer inside the vehicle, the box sits under the shifter. You pop it, there's a plastic piece, you pop it out, and you unclip that box. You unclip the ACM. Investigator Davis just got done telling us that the vehicle was crushed in, and that's why they had to cut the roof, put hydraulic on where Dorothy sits, the front passenger, roll the vehicle outwards, extend the vehicle, only to get that computer. What are we talking about? This is the vehicle after the accident at the scene, and we clearly have access to the ACM. Now, why is the police department doing this to him? This is the vehicle inside the police department, still intact. The roof is there. The roof is there. Okay. This is the vehicle inside the police department. The roof is still there. Okay. Clearly had access to the ACM. The ACM is right here. This is where the ACM is. It sits right there. Right there. You pop that plastic piece. Clearly, Investigator Davis is lying to us. He was telling us that the vehicle was crushed in, that they had to put a hydraulic on the passenger door, roll the vehicle forward, cut the roof to gain access to the box. We have access to the box. Now, why are they doing this to the vehicle? This is the fire department. Investigator Davis just got done telling us that we, the police, had the fire department put hydraulics. These are hydraulics or saws. Put hydraulics on Dorothy's front passenger door to roll the vehicle forward. Cut the roof. They're cutting the roof. They're actively cutting the roof. The question is why? If you have access to the ACM, why are you chopping up at the vehicle? Look at what they've done to the vehicle. The roof is gone. The roof is gone. Dorsey's side is crushed. They crushed it. And the original scan is nowhere to be found. It's not in the server. Because originally, they scanned the vehicle with a Faro. A machine that scans Mustafa's vehicle at the scene. A machine that scans the SUV at the scene. And it tells you where the impact. So they remove dash cam, and now they're crushing at the vehicle. And now when you bring in an independent expert, they want you to rescan the crushed vehicle to show that Dorothy's side was impacted, that Mustafa didn't clear the SUV. I mean, you're manipulating the evidence. You're destroying evidence. The police is destroying evidence. Why are you doing this to the vehicle? Look at what they've done. They completely crushed Dorothy's side. To what? Gain access to what? A box that, and this is Investigator Davis. Investigator Davis is always there. When he's talking to the children, when they're doing an inspection, when they're chopping up and staging the vehicle. Now I go back to, let's watch a video on how to extract ACMs. I think that's a good Chrysler ACM, Chrysler 300 ACM replacement. I think that's a good way so we can all be on the same page, right? Let's see. Chrysler, found it the other day. It's like a 2-minute video. Like literally 2 minutes and you'll get the ACM. I think I saved it somewhere. Let's see. You got Prosecutor Sara, Sami praying that I'm not going to find it. You got Investigator Davis praying that I'm not going to find it. I'm going to find it. There we go. There we go. Let's see. It's in here somewhere. Even if I can't find it, what I can do, I can always post it. And let's see. There we go. It's a 2-minute video. All right. Okay, so you pop the shifter and the ACM, the box, the computer is right there. You just unclip it. All right, that's the ACM. So why is Davis telling us that the police, they had the fire department put a hydraulic where Dorothy sits, Dorothy's side, and crush to roll the vehicle forward? What are we talking about? The vehicle wasn't crushed in. You had access to the ACM.